So Sema, we've worked together nearly 15 years.
Yes.
And we worked together in Fulham.
Yes.
And I look back at that and I think it was quite a special time.
Yes.
I think that journey. Tell me, how did you get into estate agency?
About 30 years ago, I bought a house, and obviously you search. You start walking around the streets where you want to live and look at the property magazines. Internet wasn't a thing at the time. And I became hooked. I bought something, but I never stopped looking at properties. And then after a while, it was the property boom time. I did
30 years ago, I'm trying to do my maths now, so 1995.
It's a long time ago. So we're probably talking about early 20s. I was working before. And I quit because I had a baby. And then I started having little projects. I bought and sold about 3 properties. At that time, it was so easy to make money. You don't need to do anything anyway. You buy, sit on it, sell. It was like that. And then I separated from my ex, and I thought maybe I should have a job. And then at the time, Chiswick, Farnsutaya were selling my Ogden house, the project. And I asked the lady, so it was a lady manager, she was a lady manager, and she said, have an interview with my boss. And I did. And then Fulham's manager and Notting Hill manager were there, interviewed me. Fulham manager picked me and they offered me a job. And I said, where is Fulham? I've never been to Fulham in my life, whereas Notting Hill I knew. So I just started when I was 41, being an estate agent, and I never looked back.
Oh my goodness, I didn't actually realise you started at 41 because you are one of the most credible, experienced agents in our business.
Yes.
At the top of your game, if I may say so.
Thank you.
And you now work in our Chelsea office, which was where you always wanted to get to.
Yes.
You did at least 10 years in Fulham, I think.
Yeah.
But, it's been a long journey. How did you find the transition between the Fulham market to the Chelsea market?
It's the pace we used to work. I used to work until 7. I used to do about 18 viewings a day. But don't forget, we were in the boom period, and it was all flats, very few houses, and it's a different market completely. And people, whether we're investors, buy-to-let investors, there were all kinds of buyers around. People who wants to be at a certain road because of the children going to the school nearby. It's completely different than Chelsea market. Chelsea is more like pied-à-terre houses because they have a house in the country. International buyers want a London base. And the number of transactions, I used to sell like 40 maybe, and now I'm down to 20. But it's more, the buyers are different as well. Their age is different. It's a group of people who are in banking, quite young ones, and also you are dealing with retirees, the people who wants a second or third home in London. I find it different. It's not more challenging. I think it's more relaxed, but the pressure is higher.
18 viewings a day. I think if you said that to most agents in London now, some of them aren't doing 18 viewings a week.
They wouldn't understand the and I was 41 to probably 50 that period. Not all the years were the same, but activity levels in Fulham, and Fulham market, it's a big area. You have all sorts of buyers there. It's a very exciting market, and there's the potential in Fulham is enormous actually. Once you're in it, you understand the potential there, but it's a very volume. It's volume,
I think
not
working in Fulham. I mean, I look back at Fulham and I think that was probably one of the best times of my life. I mean, we worked together in a huge team.
Yes.
It was ferociously competitive.
Yes.
And that only made us better at what we did because our competition were brilliant. And so they were sharp, so we had to be sharper. And you're right, it was high volume. And I always think you're either a volume agent or not.
Yes.
I love volume. I like deals all day, every day. And so I look after a business and I see all the deals all the time. But going from Fulham to Chelsea, what you're saying is it's lower volume,
Yes.
but higher fees.
Higher fees.
But then saying that, even in Fulham, you know, we would, you know, the speed of it was just incredible. We could do a deal on a Monday and by the Friday we could exchange contracts if it was the right house.
Yes.
And it was a cash buyer. And I think that's exciting, isn't it? Because people don't realise you can transact at that
quickly.
level.
Yes, if you want, you can, definitely. With the right solicitor, you have to have the right solicitor on both sides, and that's our job. At least we should try to recommend those solicitors to both sides. It's very important for the seller to be ready when the offer comes in.
So they can issue the contracts rather than spending 2 or 3 weeks allowing the buyer time to think about it.
Yes.
Because actually, if you're serious about doing a deal and at this level in the market, you want to be ready to issue a contract and conclude it as quickly as possible.
Yes.
And I think you would agree then, I think this is what you're saying, that, you know, employing the right lawyer, it's not about getting the best deal. It's about getting the right lawyer.
Yes, you need to pay a couple of £1,000 more. You're buying a property. Most of people only buy 2 properties in their lifetime. It's
I've bought a lot.
Yeah, except you. So it's a very important purchase. It's like getting married. It's like getting to a university, finding your first job. Buying a home is a part of you. It's very personal. It's your space. And you should not try to save money on solicitors' fees. The good solicitor firms, we would know, we would recommend those to you, and the difference in price you're paying is for the partner dealing with you, basically, not one of the associates or one of the new ones. You're not in a queue. Your sale file is not in a queue to be looked after and responded and to be dealt with. It's just happened so quickly.
And so if we look back at, you mentioned earlier that some of the profile of a buyer these days is getting younger. And I mean, I love hearing about, because I'm not doing deals every day, I love hearing about the deals that are being done. And you sometimes tell me, you know, I'm dealing with a young man, he's maybe 26, 27, buying something for, you know, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 million or whatever it might be with his, you know, young bride-to-be or wife or whatever. And I think that you excel in that scenario because quite often, how much experience have these young buyers got?
Not much.
So how do you approach that?
Well, I think it is, for any property sale, it's very important to have that trust in the estate agent you're dealing with. You need to be straightforward, honest. Although we represent the seller, we care very much our buyer's situation as well. It's a very stressful time in their lives and a very important decision they already made. So we're there to help them as well as our clients. And they need to trust you. You need to be honest with them, and they just see it through anyway. And then once the trust is in there, the success of that transaction is almost secured. I was coming from last year in the aircraft. I was sitting to a lady with 2 little kids. One of them was throwing up, and after she calmed down, she said to me, "Excuse me, but I know you. You showed me a house 6 months ago, and I never looked at her properly." And I said, "Oh yes." And then we start chatting. It was 2 hours conversation, and then she bought, and they were very reluctant buyers. They weren't sure. And in the end, they bought a Bolton Square house from me. And in the end, she sent an email and also, I think, talked to Robert about it when they came to pick up the keys. And she said the trust was there from day one. And that was very important to them. The foreign buyers, first purchase in this country. And yeah, it's a very important quality that you have to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a negotiator.
What would you say, out of all the deals you've done, what's the fastest deal you've ever done?
Three days, probably 3 working days.
And did you sleep in that time?
Yes, it's more relaxed. It's not like you're bidding against somebody else. It's just if you have a buyer who said to you, "I can do it in 3 days," you need to give the credit. He knows what he's doing. That means he already has a solicitor, and it's a different kind of buyer. That is, they don't exist at the moment.
And what would you say is what's the longest deal?
Oh, 6 months probably.
Or
actually
longer,
more.
or longer.
Yes, longer.
I'm sure we've had longer deals.
Yes, mine probably maybe 8 months. I can't remember. I don't want to remember. It was a Swan Court property for only £700,000, and we had shockingly bad solicitor on both sides. But one of them was challenging me at every point, I was saying, "Did you ask for the license requirement from the management agent?" And then she comes back to me after a week, says, "There's no license requirement. Where does it say that?" And for 3 months, I fought with her. In the end, the seller sacked her because she wasn't listening.
Almost becoming an obstacle.
Obstacle, yes. Yeah, you deal with all sorts of people. It's just not buyer and seller. You have sometimes interesting surveyors, management agents with attitude or doing half-time work when they're at home. They can't be bothered to be disturbed. I mean, it's just, sometimes it can be really stressful, but the end result always makes everyone happy. And that's what matters. And then you move on to the other one.
And what would you say is the most memorable deal of your career?
It's I think the most expensive one.
Straight
21.
away.
I thought about it, if you're going to ask me this question. So, I mean, I have many, many good memories, and the moments I felt really satisfied with what I've done. And but that one is when you sell a property over 20 million, it doesn't happen to you very often. And when you pull it in the end, you just sit down and say, "Okay, I deserve a glass of red wine now, an expensive one." That's the kind.
Is that the one? Is that the house that had the motorbike hanging?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a special house.
Carlisle Square.
And also had a dinosaur skeleton.
Yes, all sorts of artworks.
I mean, you see some. And what's the most incredible thing or shocking thing you've ever seen in a property?
I can't think that very quickly. I can't. Shocking. I have seen very messy houses. You sell a £9 million house, and underwears all over the place in the bathrooms, and they know you're coming to see the property, and sometimes it is the sellers, not tenanted properties as well, or they haven't cleaned by the window, for example. I mean, this kind of presentation issues. Yeah, but otherwise, you sell every sort of property, so I wouldn't be surprised with what it is, but how to present it is something you can control. So,
And if you were to give yourself some advice at the start of your career, either your property career or, right at the, when you were a young lady in early 20s, what advice would you give yourself?
If I knew the property boom were going to continue for, 7, 8 years, I would have told myself, buy lots of properties, Emma. But that is everybody's regret in this country. And then sell.
Nobody wants to buy when the market's down because they think, it's not, but that's the time to buy.
Yes.
The market favours the bold, doesn't it?
Yes.
And as long as you hold.
Yes. And you would, as an agent, you would feel that moment. It takes about a month or two, but it tips the market. Well, it comes down and down and down, and then there's a point where you start having inquiries, start having calls. All of a sudden, your telephone starts ringing. After months of crying, so you would know, and then start going up.
And how would you describe the prime property market now?
Shocking. Because
But you're still doing deals.
yes, we are, but we could have done a lot more if there's no expectation again for another October budget, because people are talking about a wealth tax now, and all sorts of tax increases at the background. Our clients there and buyers, 50% of them are in finance, so they know better than me anyway. And they are the most difficult people to sell to. So those people, I was looking all my applicants, buyers between 4 to 7 million today, and I have about 35. And apart from 2, they all told me they're on hold. They're either waiting for October and they want to see the market a little bit more. They will wait. They will sleep through the summer, and they're
waiting to see what the budget brings in case it brings more shock. So no one wants to commit or do the deal or spend money, even in the build up to a transaction.
Yes, people don't want to make a mistake basically with even if it's £100,000 and you have 10 million, it still bothers them. That unless there's a very special property, I must exclude them, because at that time you will have more than one buyer fighting for it. And the special properties, low built, big gardens, light, in a nice, quiet location in Chelsea, and they don't exist. I mean, they do exist, but they don't come to the market very often.
When they come up, regardless of the market, they're going to sell, is what you're saying.
Because there is money there. There is desire there. They're just not convinced it's the right time to buy unless there's something extremely good.
So what's your prediction? When's the next property boom?
Property boom? Well...
I'm just wondering if your thoughts are the same as my thoughts.
Yes, there needs to be a lot of things changing, like interest rates needs to come down. With Trump, you can't predict anything anymore. That's the other problem we have, because he changed the whole world's economy, and the predictions change. And even the financial analysts, they can be so wrong about their predictions. So, yeah, I don't know. Honestly,
too early to tell.
Too early
to tell.
Yeah, but there is definitely need for properties. A rental market, rental properties numbers are diminishing. People are selling their properties because of the taxation. It's not worth it anymore, they think, the owners. And now when you want a property to rent, it used to be a 1-year contract. Now everybody secures their property for 3 years. So for 3 years, that property is gone from the market. So when the next young people wants to rent something, there's nothing in the market. It's so
and there's not enough
scary.
New buyers entering the market to buy to let. How many investors do you have? Have you noticed a reduction in investors buying to let?
Yeah, well, that happened a long time ago after they changed the. Firstly, the interest rates, the hike, that just 50% down, and then in the year after that, it's gone down again. Now, if I have 170 applicants, maybe 1 or 2, if there's a good deal, they're there to buy. So no investors, I'm afraid, in that sense. And also developers, that market is dead as well, because there's no margins anymore. So it is not an easy market, but then with the right agent on your side, it will change things for you. And yeah, you'll do the best what you can do with what the market condition is at the moment.